everybody. I'm Jim Sinicropi for the FL1 Sports Podcast, and with the Masters being played in November this week, figured it'd be a great time to turn our focus to local golf, and specifically one of the better young golfers to come out of the Wayne Finger Lakes High School leagues in quite some time. He's never lost a golf match, 54-0 as a team, as a member of the Geneva Panthers, coached by Bill McDermott. He's just a couple weeks ago captured his fourth straight Finger Lakes Golf Championship. And if you haven't heard his name yet from those accomplishments, I'm happy to welcome John Mittiga into the studio. John, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Those are both great accomplishments. 54 straight team wins and 4 straight Finger Lakes Golf Championships, which basically gets you into the sectional tournament, which will be played in the spring. And if you had to pick one of those two accomplishments, 54 straight wins or the 4 straight Finger Lakes Championships, which one's more special to you?
I would have to go with 54 straight wins. My graduating class, the 5 seniors, we've been friends forever. We grew up playing at Seneca Lake Country Club. Before that shut down, we would go and pick balls out of the woods, and we played hockey together. We actually at the time played a lot more hockey than we did golf. But so to see the team come together and for 4 straight years, never lost a match. I mean, the Finger Lakes Championship was special because at the end of the year, it comes together, and I brought it together every year. But
and this year it was at Geneva.
This year, it was at Geneva. So, I mean, it's hard to pick one, but I play a lot of junior tournaments, so
right.
It's one of few.
Yeah.
But to see the team events, that was special.
So let's start with the team then. Your entire 4-year golf career, regular season, never lost a golf match. Mention some of the guys on your team. Just give them a shout out.
So to start, Sean Buckland, who tore his shoulder, or tore his rotator cuff, or not exactly sure, tubing. He didn't play this year, but he's part of the graduating class. Joey Marr, Kevin Buckland, Zach Mattice. That's the 5 of us. So
that's a senior class.
That's a senior class. Brady and Carson Zujak are both freshmen. They have a lot of potential. Jeremy Askin also played on our team this year. He's a freshman. And Jonathan Bailey, who's a junior. So.
Well, that's pretty cool. Now, fun fact, I played for Miners Academy, and my high school golf team never lost a golf match. If you can't play, I didn't win any Finger Lakes championships, but our team never lost a golf match. Of course, a lot of those matches we would shoot like maybe a 205, and the team we were playing against would shoot like, whatever. Some of the competition in high school golf, we won by hundreds, minimum of 100 strokes a lot of our matches.
Right.
But yeah, then you have the individual aspect. So from here, after winning the Finger Lakes Championship for the 4th straight time, which 71, shot a 1 under par 71? Even par 71?
Even par 71, yeah.
And then now you'll play in the sectional championship, which is next spring at Stafford Country Club near Rochester. And then if you're successful there, super sectionals?
Super sectionals, which they also hold at Stafford. I believe they did that in
that's a nice advantage.
2018.
And kids from other sections?
No, so they take they send 40, I believe, to Stafford. Okay. And then after the first day, they cut the field to 20 for super sectionals.
Gotcha. And
it stays within Section 5, and then 8 go to states.
8 go to states, okay.
From super sectionals, yep.
And that would be next June?
June? It's usually like May 20th, around there. And then the first week of June is states.
Okay. So back to the team. Your coach is Bill McDermott, real good golfer in his own right. Just talk about his approach to coaching the team.
So he's been the coach for way longer than I've known about Geneva High School golf. He's dedicated to making us better. He is out there. He's playing all the time. He's, he's a dedicated coach. We have a lot of great coaches at Geneva High School, but I think a lot of them are not forced, but are in sports where they don't know as much about golf as Bill McDermott does.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's no doubt about that. He's definitely a great guy to have as a coach, and obviously doing a great job with the whole team. So let's turn a little bit now to like you and golf. What was your earliest golf memory?
My earliest golf memory was getting a blue Under Armour golf shirt from my mom, and it had 74 on the sleeve. I don't know why, but in yellow it said 74 on the sleeve. I think that was my first ever golf shirt.
No good. So you got the shirt. You remember the shirt, first golf clothes before the first golf club.
Yes. That was probably when I started playing golf. I was using a set of Max Flies, I think.
Okay, yeah.
And we would go maybe once a month over the summer to Silver Creek.
Mm-hmm.
Me, her, and my brother. That was my first golf memory. And then I became a member at Geneva maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And then I started in the junior camp that we have over the summer. And then later I would end up coaching the junior camp.
Okay.
So it came
that's pretty neat.
Full circle with that, yeah.
And talk about the course at Geneva. What's your favorite hole?
My favorite hole. My favorite hole is probably 2.
Yep.
But
up the driveway.
In the last year or so, I'm able to put it on the green from the front tee.
Oh, nice. That always helps.
But
I've never done that.
More often than not, actually in the club championship, I would snap one OB. So
right, sure.
There's certainly some downside to going for that green.
Yeah, it's a fun green too with the.
Yeah, there's a ridge up top, but I like that hole. I like the layout. It suits the eye with the little dogleg left. But the hole I play the best would probably be 7. Par 5, dogleg left.
Oh yeah, where you can't go over the.
No, you can go. That's 6.
Oh,
you can't go over the road.
Right,
so 7,
6.
you can go as far as you want.
Yep.
Then you're left with like 160 into the par 5.
Yeah, you can see that green from the road as you're driving.
Yeah.
By. Yeah, my favorite is probably the par 3. It would be what 8. Yeah, the 8th hole. That's a really nice par 3.
Yeah, it is.
Really like.
It's a lot tougher than people give it credit.
Yep, and great greens at Geneva, no doubt. And you mentioned the junior golf program. Did you learn anything about yourself or golf from coaching the kids? Or
I never had coached anything. I didn't know what about my swing made my swing be able to hit the ball the way I do.
Right.
So to be able to not so much coach, what I realized was it wasn't about as much coaching as about making them want to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
just make them have fun.
Yeah, so to grow their passion for the sport.
Right.
And then eventually they would want to be good at it. That was what I took away from that experience. So, yeah, it was fun. I did that for 2 summers, and then we didn't have one this year. But
yeah, and there's a lot of things that we aren't having. Speaking of that, what's it been like for you personally? I mean, probably fortunate to get your golf season in, but I know at Geneva you said that you're 2 days on, 2 days off, and you played lacrosse last spring?
I played it as a freshman.
But whatever spring sport
sophomore.
You were going to play this past spring, it was obviously didn't happen.
Yeah.
Your poor varsity boys basketball team was not making a state run when things kind of shut down. So what's it been like for you as just a high school senior during this period?
I mean, it's the same. I guess I can't complain as much as embrace it. It's been tough, but I mean, I'm trying to make the most of everything. Hopeful of a hockey season come soon.
Yep.
But I don't know. Fortunately, I was able to golf through this.
Yeah, I mean, golf has been one thing that's really benefited from the pandemic, I guess, because it's a safe activity, and a lot of people are exposing themselves to the game for the first time. I know I don't know if there's been a season that I've played as many rounds as I did this year, but so from
Yeah.
that perspective,
Yeah, it's been-
not so bad.
It could have been worse.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yep.
Could have been worse.
Yeah, I remember in April when they said you couldn't golf.
Yeah. I do
That
remember
was kind of like, what?
Yeah.
So you're right. It could be worse for sure. What's the best part of your game? What's your strength of your golf game?
I hit the ball pretty far.
Distance?
Distance, for sure. A lot of courses like Geneva, you just sort of like overpower them.
Yeah.
Silver Creek, just like within like 6,500 yard.
Well, almost any course can be overpowered. Just look at DeChambeau.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Bryson DeChambeau?
I like to see him do well,
Mm-hmm.
just because he's different than everyone else. I
Yeah.
definitely want Tiger to win, but
So you're a Tiger fan.
I am a
your
Tiger
favorite
fan.
golfer?
Tiger would be my favorite golfer to see win.
Is he your favorite golfer, like in general?
I would say so. When Tiger
Okay.
plays, I watch. Otherwise,
Yeah, that's
Could miss
true of
it.
a lot of people. That's true of a lot of people. So, do you find that your strength comes naturally? Your length, is that something you had to work on? Is that something that, is that something that you've had to work on, or is it always natural?
So maybe 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, I'd say, I started to really work out. I started to go to the gym like 6-7 days a week.
And is that when you gained your length? on the golf
It
course?
came over time
Mhm.
with hockey and just growing, but it definitely exaggerated the progress I would have made.
Gotcha.
But now I, still go to the gym and
So you get that length. Do you rip it, or do you just come with a more controlled swing, and just because you've been stronger, that
a little bit of both. Depends what I'm trying to play or
Right.
kind of shape I'm trying to put on it.
what's your predominant shot shape off the tee?
Off the tee, I'll hit a draw and I'll cut the irons.
Okay, well, that's a great way to play for sure. So, what about the weakest part of your game? If you had to pick your weakness,
Definitely the mental side.
just general mental.
It's more not being able to not go for it. Sort of like DeChambeau has he has a goal going in,
Mhm.
and he has this, plan going in. It'd be like sort of I go in with the plan of not going for it, but then when I get in the situation,
You go for it.
I go for it.
Well,
So I don't
sometimes
have.
it's good to go for it. Some guys
Sometimes
would
it
just
pays
go
off.
for everything.
Right. Sometimes, like at Geneva, I'll hit drive off every tee.
Right.
Now, I would probably play better if I hit forehand off every tee. But,
Well, 71 at the
Right.
championship's pretty good, and 4 straight championships. So whatever you're doing, I just can't see you as being your mental game being that much of a weakness when you've had so much success.
it's not. I wouldn't say it's a weakness. I would say if there's a part of my game that could take me to the next level,
Yeah.
it would certainly be that, and making more putts.
Yeah, making more
But
putts.
Everyone can make more putts. So
So, let's talk about putting. What type of putter do you use?
so it's varied over the
You
years.
change them around?
I've only had 3 putters my whole life.
Okay.
I started off with a Scotty Cameron Concept X,
Okay.
which I played with, and at the time as you get a new putter, you make everything. So
Right.
I was making everything. I sent it in, got it customized. About 3 weeks after, I couldn't make a 4-footer to save my life. So then I switched it up and got a TaylorMade Spider X.
Okay.
The one like
Yep. Dustin Johnson. Used
Dustin
to use it.
Johnson, Rahm, McIlroy, they all use.
Yeah.
So I used that. And then I was buying Scotty Cameron Newport head covers, like Newport 2 head covers.
Yeah.
So I had this collection, and
But you didn't have a Newport.
I did not have a Newport. So I said, I'm just going to get a Newport. So then I got a Newport Trillium. It was like a limited release, black with white dots on the back. So I got that to use my head covers, which I haven't used. I only have the original Trillium head cover on there. But so I still use that.
Is that so that's what's in your bag right now?
That's what's in my bag right now. Yep.
All right. Now, do you spend a lot of time practicing putting?
I do not.
Do you spend a lot of time practicing in general?
I do not.
So you just basically are playing?
Yeah. So I wish I had I used to practice a lot. But then
When you say used to, like how long ago?
Going into last year, going into my
Sophomore year or junior year?
more of the summer though.
Summer before junior year?
Summer after. Oh, no, yeah, summer after my sophomore year, going into my junior year,
Yep.
correct. I practice a lot. I like to practice, but I never really saw how it paid off. I got more out of, going out and playing and then taking it back to the range rather than, practice. I could be practicing the wrong thing.
Right, so you might play around and then head to the range?
Right, sometimes. And the range at Geneva is limited.
Yeah,
It's 125 yards, so, I mean.
They redid it, though, this year, right? Put in some artificial turf?
They put in an artificial mat. I mean, it didn't change the distance, but it changed.
Right.
I like hitting off the grass, but.
Yeah.
So then it really.
So
I
now
was
you're
not.
practicing even less because you don't like the mat. Yeah.
But before the golf season, I played my last tournament in Maine. It was AJGA at Sugarbush. Or Sugarloaf.
Oh, that must have been beautiful.
Ski Mountain, yeah, it was nice. And after that, I went 5 out of 7 weeks. I was in a different state, playing a tournament. I got sort of burnt out.
Yeah.
And so for about 3 weeks, I didn't touch a golf club until mid-August to the start in September for golf. I didn't touch a golf club until tryouts. So.
But you still made the team.
I still made the
team.
team.
So what do you do when you didn't touch clubs? What do you do to fill your free time?
I hung out with a lot of friends. I went on the lake. I love the lake. I went to the weight room. I was there for, anywhere from 2 to 3 hours a day. But yeah, I love the weight room. I love the gym. Yeah.
So if you had to pick one place to be, if you had to give up one or the other, never step foot on a golf course again or never step foot in a gym again, which would you choose?
I would.
It's only hypothetical, so fortunately.
Well, I would go for the golf course. I would continue golfing.
What's your favorite golf course you ever played?
My favorite golf course. Well, that's tough. I don't know if I have one.
Let's just name a couple that stick out in your mind.
I played Bethpage.
Oh, yeah.
I played a tournament there.
The black course?
I played on the blue.
Blue?
But we went around. I played Oak Hill, Country Club of Rochester.
Wow, very
It's really
nice.
nice.
Yeah.
Trying to think of any. Sugarloaf. South Point. It's in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay,
near
nice.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's a really nice club. I played Penn State, their home course. College, they have their own course. The old course at St. Andrews, nobody knows about, but it's in New York City. Not in New York City. It's in actually Yonkers.
Oh,
it's in this hidden corner.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. It's
What's
elevated.
the name of that place? The link. I know the place you're talking about. I can't think of the name, but yeah. So you've gotten around to play a fair amount of courses around the Northeast. Let's see what else we got for you here. What are your golf goals at this point?
At this point, I would say if I play in college, it would be a bonus. It's not a make or break for me whether I play golf in college, but I will continue to play golf my whole life. It's just something I like to do. It's relaxing. It's peaceful. It's a way to hang out and enjoy company.
Same reasons I love it.
But I would say competitively, if I don't play in college, I'll focus on school.
Do you ever see yourself playing in any of the state tournaments, the men's am?
Yeah, I'll play over the summer when I come home from college. I'll play in the RDGA district championship, just for fun. But
Well, as far as the Wayne Finger Lakes area goes, you're one of the best golfers to come out of here in a while. You know who Mike Stackus Jr. is?
I do not.
He went on to win I think a Vermont state title and came in second in the Maryland state championship. Just has had a really good career. Really good golfer, but his name comes to mind. Yeah, so whether you keep playing competitively or not, it's up to you. But you just have a general affinity for the game, and but it's not a priority. You're not like you don't have any plans to try to go to Q school or go get on the Corn Ferry tour.
At one point, I did. Looking into this summer, I was hitting the ball really well.
Mm-hmm.
I started out great. I played a tournament at Stafford, actually, the Western New York Open, and I was like one of maybe 10 AM players, and there was probably 20, 30 pros. I went actually with the pro at Geneva, John Rossi, and we went up and I won it. That was the first tournament of my season. Shot 68 there, 4 under. And then the next day, I went and played the Rochester District Championship qualifier at Churchville Country Club, which is the first time I've never played it. I won that qualifier. So I got off to a hot start, and then I went to my first national tournament of the summer in New Jersey. It was in Watchung. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Watchung Golf Club.
Mm-hmm.
I played all right there. That was my best finish in a nationally ranked tournament of my life. And then...
So at that point, you're thinking, man, I'm pretty good.
I was thinking that if I kept up with the summer, I would have a lot of good looks at the end.
Okay.
My next tournament after that was one in... I went to Penn State after that and shot mid-70s the whole week and just couldn't put anything together. And then after that, it sort of went downhill. I played South Point, which is you have to basically place the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not the week to not be able to hit the ball where you wanted to hit the ball. So that week was followed up by Maine, which was another poor week.
A lot of driving, too.
A lot of driving. 9 hours in the car to Maine was brutal. But
so can you imagine these guys, that do play for a living on the PGA Tour, how relentless that schedule is, especially if you're not like an established guy, if you're grinding trying to
those
beat
guys,
the card.
they're grinding to break even, and it's a tough path.
Yeah.
And you're sacrificing time and money, and not your future, but you're giving up time where you could be making money.
Yeah, in some cases,
and a lot of guys,
you are sacrificing your future if it doesn't pan out for you.
Right, then you're stuck.
You're behind the 8 ball at that point. So a little burnout and a little so was it partly that you just wouldn't want that to be your life, or did you realize, geez, I'm not quite as good as these other guys that are,
That was more of it. I went to these tournaments and these kids are coming from all over the world.
Right.
And they're just, it's not even that they have me in every aspect of the game, but the ones that they do have, they don't mess up. They don't make mistakes. So I realized that I'm not the best one here. As long as, although I talked to my mom before every tournament and said, I think I can take this one.
Sure.
I wasn't. So I came to realize that, and that's when I didn't lose passion for the game, but I lost maybe the drive that I did have when I still believed I could win every tournament. Right. And not that I lost belief I could win, but I realized how good the kids were.
Well, that's an honest answer, and I think that's a great thing about golf is it teaches you a lot about yourself, and you're putting yourself out there in situations that most people that play golf, a very small percentage of people that play golf will play in the type of tournaments that you played in, and you were able to have some success in those, but still realize, how much you'd have to really put into it to, when you get to a certain level, it's almost like there can be nothing else in your life.
Yeah, that was another thing. Golf humbled me because I realized that no matter how much time I put in, you weren't always going to get the outcome that you were looking for. Because there's kids that are, I know kids that are in academies, all over the country, that all they do is golf, and they can't put together a round.
Right, you can go out there, you after pick up the clubs after not swinging them for 3 weeks and probably beat some of those guys that are.
Right, so it's a tough balance.
Yeah.
You have to be born to have the mindset to.
Part of it you got to be born with, I think, to be at that level. Sure, I don't think that anybody can just say I'm going to work as harder than anybody else, because everybody's working hard. So there has to be a little bit of natural ability.
It's not a linear path. A lot of sports, you can do this and do this and do this, and then you reach your goal. But it's not there's a lot of ups and downs, and the way you can handle it, I guess, is what makes you good.
Yep. So do you feel like your natural golf ability translates to other sports? Like you mentioned, playing hockey and lacrosse, baseball at one point.
It's different just because it's not most of the golf I've played in my life has not been a team sport. But it is in the
timing, hand-eye coordination, things like that.
It is in the same, but I don't know how they relate. They definitely do, because I know a handful of hockey players that are great at golf and vice versa.
Right.
So they definitely go hand in hand. When I think about what one has taught me and the other, I would say golf has taught me just to be patient and accept the outcome more than anything. But
and those are life lessons too.
Yeah.
I've always felt like, I'm not the one to come up with this, but I've heard it said before, but I agree with it, that a lot of times you'll see the true character of an individual by watching them, how they act when they golf.
Right.
But no matter how good or bad they are, just the way that they react to things, or it's a good indicator of character, I think.
It is, yeah.
If you're going to spend 4 hours with someone on a golf course, you pretty much get a pretty good feel for who they are. We're almost out of time here. What about next year? You're senior, going to graduate, going to go to college. What's the plan?
So I have applied early decision to Emory in Atlanta. So when I assessed my options, I wanted to take advantage of early decision. Emory has a great undergrad business school. So I had a couple looks here and there. Nothing really panned out and nothing solidified, but I have a little bit of hope that I would play at Emory. Again, it's not a make or break for me, but I've come to terms with going to school and moving on from there, and playing golf as business happens. But other than that, just.
Well, it's the great part about golf is, if you stay healthy, you can play till you're 100 years old.
Yeah.
Which is another great thing about it. So before we get out of here, anybody you want to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, so my biggest supporters, for sure, my parents, who have not only supplied the money for my adventures over the years, but they've supported me through everything, every sport, not just golf, but my team, for sure, my friends, going along with the team, Coach Bill McDermott, and a big shout out to the pro at Geneva, John Rossi, who took me in when I first joined there, and sort of mentored me to be the golfer I am now. He gave me opportunities at the club. I worked for him. He invited me to coach the junior golf camp. I went down and stayed with him in Florida. We played golf there. So definitely, I've had a good group of people.
Yeah.
My community, for sure. But and the organizations, golf organizations, Western New York, PGA, RDGA, AJGA. A lot of people have come together to help me in my journey. But I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple that I'll remember later. But
Yeah, I know that's the tough part though.
It's just many that come to mind.
Watch this back and say, "Oh man!" But you did name it. Great. It's great. To have a home course like Geneva Country Club with a pro like John Rossi and a coach like Bill McDermott, who's you're exposed to. He's because it's where he plays golf as well, so you see him all summer long, not just in season. And the support from the family. I assume that all these tournaments you were talking about, you had your mom was going with you a lot.
Yep.
So, yeah, you can't. It's certainly great to have a good support crew, but it also sounds like you've given back a lot too, helping out with junior golf, and you got things in perspective. So I really enjoyed talking to you. We'll be
thanks for having
rooting
me.
for you. Come the spring in sectionals and maybe on into states. Hopefully things get back to normal here soon, and then in the future, and maybe we can grab 18 holes together too at some point.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
All right, John, have a good one.
You too.